The jungle, and that's Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Charles, we got a second here to discuss Cincinnati as their offense works their way back out there. Marvin Lewis, many thought on the way out, but now a 2-year extension, and it's 2 straight years without them being in the playoffs after 5 straight in the playoffs. Were you surprised that Marvin Lewis was given the extension?
I actually was, because he was at the end of his contract, and I thought that was a natural end point for he and the...
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. A great play there. 40 yards, and the Bengals are going to take the first quarter lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Hey, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, whoever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Eagles will take over here in just a second on offense. And, Charles, as you look back to the Super Bowl title run that they just had, what were some of the moves that made that possible?
I'll keep it on the offensive side of the ball, because I thought their front office did a fantastic job of having answers in case things happen. Carson Wentz goes out. Well, they had signed Nick Foles to back him up. That worked out pretty well.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Vontaze Burfict leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. And they brought the pressure there just right up the gut, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. And, you know, when you've got so many different responsibilities as an offensive line, you got to deal with the nose tackle. The 2 defensive tackles are in.
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Kevin Minter in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play, as we'll get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On 3rd and long, It's Wentz. Dancing to his left. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
CD, I want to get your thoughts on some potential free agents this offseason before we change the possession here. Now, caution, many of these guys could be re-signed, I know, but who are some of them? Kirk Cousins is one.
Yeah, we're talking about difference makers. Kirk Cousins at the...
Oh, batted at the line and intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
I want to give a hat tip real quick, Charles, to J.J. Watt before the possession switches here. Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year. They totaled up how much he helped raise for hurricane relief. And that is caught. It's Aguilar for the Eagle touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, 30 yards. And the Eagles have cut it back within a score. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
Elliott now to kick this one away. On the return, it's Alex Erickson. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Before the possession switches here, I had written down that I wanted to talk about some of the awards this past season in the NFL. We know Brady was the MVP, but Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year.
How about that for a bounce back? Many were questioning whether he'd had a sophomore slump the season before. Didn't even get to 1,000 yards. Was a dominant force in 2017. How about his teammate Aaron Donald on the defensive side? He took home Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah, very impressive. They had both sides of the ball. Sean McVay deserving, I think you would agree, of Coach of the Year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what he did for the Rams when they went from last
and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Vinny Curry in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with the football to begin quarter number 2. They're facing a tough spot, 3rd and 8 here to start things out. And Dalton to throw. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
A minute 59 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Larry Ridley is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. Flushed out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Vincent Ray coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. From the gun on third down, Wentz. The pressure gets to him again. Carlos Dunlap in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. They do go for it. It's Wentz. And it is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. And partner, I'm not really sure what in the world they were thinking on 4th and 1 there at this stage in the game, but you think social media may be firing up a little bit right now?
Oh, the coach is trending right now. All right, there's no doubt about it. People are wondering what that decision was. But it takes me back to a number of years ago. A very successful coach in the league had told himself before a playoff game he was going to be aggressive. No matter what, he's going to be aggressive. And it ran his team into some real problems early, and they got upset in that playoff game. Let's see if this team can recover.
Well, that's aggressive in capital letters with glitter, 7 underscores. I mean, that's the definition of aggressive.
Yeah, you can almost hear the cheerleaders doing the "Be Aggressive" chant behind him, and he listened to it.
Dalton throwing on second down. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down. Now that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying it is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
So instead of fourth down, first down.
Well, so much for winning the down you put a lot of emphasis on, because third down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Call it a gain of 9 there, and it puts him in better shape here for second and goal. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. One receiver left, 2 to the right. Second down, Dalton. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Pass interference, defense.
Well, some credit there to A.J. Green, because he's so tough to cover. Sometimes he causes those penalties.
And he's one of the more difficult guys to cover in the NFL because of his ability to do just about anything on a route. Hard to do. Creates a lot of pass interference calls.
And here we go on first and goal. They'll run here with Bernard. And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. The field goal unit on the sideline. They're going to go with 1 second left. The final act of the first half. Dalton. Green's open, and he's got it for a Bengal touchdown. A.J. Green, as time expires in the first half, and the Bengals add on to their lead. You knew time was going to run out, so this had to be in the end zone, and somehow they're... Sorry, Larry, your hard work appreciated by so many men and women, but not today as we get back to the action in the second half. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3.